to get some representation going. Because, for example, previous tournaments, is off. In Quake Live, we had Phrase, which was a great player, and I miss him.
You miss him?
I miss the Aussies.
Well, we got one right here.
Yeah.
There we go. He's from what we saw. I think we saw him at QuakeCon, obviously, and he did a decent job. Liked to play aggressive, got some decent aim, particularly his rail. So, yeah, I think it's going to be really tough because bouncing off the Italian Open, then k1llsen for me is the pick of the tournament still. He was incredibly stable, played some great Quake, and it hasn't changed too much in the interim, and he was just leaps and bounds ahead of everyone at the tournament. And so if King, or sorry, not King, because his name has changed, Astroboy can pick up even a map against him, I think he's done a great job. Yeah. Because, yeah, for me, he's the favorite.
Absolutely, and it's always very interesting to see k1llsen, generally speaking, because I think with a lot of players in Quake, they've been around for such an extraordinary period of time, especially k1llsen. He's, I mean, going way back, like super far back. In 2003, k1llsen was playing a lot of Duel, but he wasn't the best German player. There was actually a guy called Diablo from EOE.
Yep.
And then eventually, k1llsen, I think Diablo started to kind of phase out a bit, and k1llsen started to sort of rise up, and we saw this like incredible mechanical skill, and that's really why he became very good. That railgun, it was very much a centerpiece of his game, and that was something that carried him through for a long time. But I feel as though in the the recent years, you've had lots of breaks. You grow older, more mature, wiser. You get to reflect. You get you come back from these breaks. You have a new perspective on the game. I feel like k1llsen has become a much more complete tournament player and a smarter player as well.
I agree 100%, and that's exactly what impressed me most at the Italian Open, is that he still has that mechanical skill to fall back on, but it's an extremely calculated game that he plays. He uses sound cues better than anyone that I've seen at the moment. He plays extremely patient, manipulates the items very well, and then when the situation comes, he commits to fights and makes that fight happen in the way that he wants to happen, and uses that mechanical skill then to get the outcome he does. And this is one of the things many of the pros have looked at him and said, how does he do this? Because when he goes into a fight, you don't leave that fight until you're dead. but if you force him into a fight, somehow he gets out of it, and that. No one can put a finger on how he does it at the moment, but it's all around the positioning and the way in which he approaches the game.
Absolutely, and with this sort of, around is dictated by that kill, it's all about that. And, being able to commit and make sure that you can always get those escape options working away. And already we get the Berserk in there for a very fast kill. k1llsen starting things off with a quick pace. Yeah,
not bad. 10 seconds, 1 kill.
So that's how you do it, isn't it? But he has been cornered now, and that will be the frag return pretty quickly there by Astroboy, and that is with the Berserk as well. So immediately responding back there, putting the pressure back on towards the heavy position. And the follow-up, k1llsen sort of finding himself in no man's land, getting bounced around, and this is not ideal, because there's a mega waiting, there's a heavy waiting, perfect rocket jump, and the follow-up. And what the hell just happened? That was incredibly fast.
Yeah, there we go. Get that out of the system. 40 seconds, and Astroboy has taken the first round.
What is this?
What is this indeed? It was severe overconfidence in every situation. Nyx, he should never have died because he had the Ghost Walk up. And then going in for the Anarchy there for the pickup and the Mega Health, great read by Astroboy.
Yeah, and we getting a bit of a chase here, but thankfully Astroboy being on Anarchy will be able to escape the situation. And the problem now though is that he's lost some of his stack. He can't really be active on the map. He's sort of having to allow Astroboy to sort of just, k1llsen, sorry, to sort of just run the map as he wants. And look at this positioning k1llsen has. He's got center map. He's going to start poking in, see if he can find something, get some sound cues. k1llsen has to control the situation now, for sure. And down into the Mega. Oh. So right now, there's not much that Astroboy can do. What can he do?
He can't do anything. He needs the rail. He also, I'm not sure if he's got a rocket launcher as well, but the priority isn't the items, it's to get the weaponry to defend yourself if k1llsen wants to make a move. He really just has to forfeit these major items to start with. So yeah, he hasn't got a rocket or a rail, and they're the two most priorities. That's why we see him sneaking around the map, and is able to sneak that, but needs to escape now before k1llsen bushes in back for the Mega.
Brilliant, so Astroboy doing exactly what he needs to do, starting to move into a position where he can make some challenges. Sees the Mega pickup. Very fortunate not to get caught by a rail there. That would have reset him again, just back into the dregs of the map. And in goes k1llsen after that rail. He wants to get the finish. He's confident, but it does not really go all according to plan. That was a complete failure from k1llsen, and a big opportunity for Astroboy to get back in.
Oh, yeah. Again, this is just k1llsen pushing into a situation there where Okay.
What do you have to say about that?
Not very much. Mistiming is the key. 2 decent rockets and just mistimed by k1llsen and not popping the Ghost Walk. Once again, dying with it off cooldown, which should never happen as a Nyx.
Yes, it's really funny sometimes. You know, you get these situations where you can look like an absolute fool just because some timing is slightly off. But should you have hit your timing, you look like a god. And speaking of which, it's Astroboy that's really turning things around. And with the start that we saw, this is going to be a quick blood run.
Yeah, I mean, we came into this match praising k1llsen's patience and confidence, and we're seeing the complete reverse. He's making us look like mugs right now, DDK.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is a very interesting distinction to make as well. k1llsen has been in positions where he has had the advantage, and he has been in that position to then try to push that advantage to close the kill. Like, he's done all the hard work, you just got to close the kill. And this is something that you expect k1llsen to have zero problems with. Yep. So Astroboy, in such a fantastic position. Part of the deal here for him is he's against one of the tournament favorites. So we need to see him hold his nerve here so that he can close. So that's what I'm hoping to see.
Yeah, and he's done a great job because he was on the back foot for a good minute of that previous map and did an excellent job of avoiding k1llsen and maintaining excellent protective positioning and forcing then k1llsen to overcommit.
I kind of like the Ghost Walk, you know, there. Just get a bit of damage in there, assert yourself on the red armor, or sorry, the heavy armor.
No, anyway, don't worry.
Old habits die hard, man. Old habits die hard.
Time.
Yeah, they had reds in every Quake, man. I actually don't know about Quake 2.
Still red to me.
Yeah. Well, it's another engagement here over this mega health, and we can see that again. That damage that was previously done by k1llsen. Actually, you know, connecting some rails is starting to put him in some decent positions. I like the pressure game here off the Nyx. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world, as Nyx's stack is not the best. But that Ghost Walk can really allow you to set up some good spots. And again, I feel as though k1llsen has been playing positionally. Yep. I think generally better than Astroboy. It just comes down to those fights, and there's some rails. One connects. Can't quite find anything else, though, just yet.
After initially favoring closer combat fights, he seems now to have reset and tried to pick Astroboy off a little bit more, utilizing the rail better, hitting the first couple of rails of the game so far. And that is smarter because obviously it's not worked out so far, and so he needs to weaken, particularly on the Doom, you need to weaken the Doom before you can make your move. And that rail in itself is a pinpoint time to go aggressive. Might even be aggressive Ghost Walk coming out, but instead deciding to back off.
It's like a really interesting position as well from that perspective. Okay, the Ghost Walk is definitely in play. Astroboy's going to realize this. How does he find a way to... I mean, he needs to like find a way to sort of force that Ghost Walk out, but the stack that k1llsen has at the moment, if he just connects a rail at the beginning of an engagement, immediately Astroboy, he's going to have to just back away. So we might get into somewhat of a stalemate, but it's like k1llsen will actually get caught, and there it is, the Ghost Walk's being forced.
And he steals the heavy armor as well. So all round, ideal day for Astroboy. But yeah, your point is correct, but the same is equally true, is that if Astroboy hits the first rail or first rocket, then everything changes because a Nyx obviously has an extremely low stack in comparison to the Doom, so that's all you need to do.
And there's the Berserk out there. That's perhaps a missed opportunity, but at least with the Berserk, it's not going to allow k1llsen to have any confidence to take a fight, so it does clear some space. However, k1llsen still able to find some angles, but not any connections. Astroboy has, I think, in many respects, been playing from a poorer position, but has found his way into these round wins. And k1llsen is trying to change things up here, able to connect one. If he can just get one more here as the Mega's collected, perhaps he can be confident to try to finish off a fight, but it's just not... k1llsen's just not quite getting that critical amount of damage to allow him to make that decision to go in.
Exactly. But what he is doing, though, is that patience once again. In that if that damage isn't coming, he's not trying to force it, because that's what happened in the previous 2 rounds. Perhaps overconfidence, and he wasn't connecting with his shots, but he was still pushing in. Astroboy is connecting and playing extremely well, and making him pay for that.
And so sort of in this situation, again, that sort of keeps resetting, but at the very least, Astroboy has the advantage. And Astroboy, I feel that he has so many options here as to how to play this position. But so we'll come back to that moment here. So we do have the Berserk, it gets popped, just as the Ghost Walk gets popped as well. So both abilities are gone, but that surely leaves Doom with the advantage on mobility as well as the stack. Yeah,
definitely. And the point has come now where we won't see k1llsen making any type of move. He needs the time shards, and that's the kind of priority for Astroboy to cut off now, is to force him out of this choke hold, which is the old plasma room, now the nail gun room. But we won't see k1llsen making any sort of move now with only 40 seconds remaining in this round.
Yeah, the plasma gun was never really a Quake weapon until Quake 3. So
You're a historian of Quake
back into
DDK,
the nail gun.
even if you do cast the wrong game.
Cost all the games. All of the games. And right now k1llsen is once again in a position where he's just trying to stabilize. And again, we do have this sort of stalemate, and it does feel like perhaps, you know, we have perhaps a situation where I would expect k1llsen to hit some more rails. I feel like we've seen some uncharacteristic misses, but you know, it's the first match, first map. Some warm-up is perhaps, some adjustment is perhaps there for k1llsen, but there it is. They do get the advantage, and it's going to work out in the end. It's an interesting matchup. Did you expect Astroboy to be able to turn things around despite being in such a disadvantageous position just multiple times?
In that round?
No, in the first 2 rounds.
Oh, no, I mean, no, not the way, I mean...
That really surprised me massively.
Basing it off the way k1llsen been playing before? No. But the way in which Astroboy's playing, now it makes sense. His combat skill's great. He's been forcing the fights extremely well and hitting more shots than k1llsen, which is unusual because not many people do. Oh,
nice. The chip damage, the shotgun, not quite connecting there. If it had that been a full frontal connection, then the frag would have been gifted perhaps, but k1llsen once again with that low stack on Nyx is just trying to hold his ground at the moment as these items are now spawning again. Whiffed rail there will allow k1llsen to get the rocket jump up onto the heavy armor confidently, and a missed rail will now give him a great position to work from. The stack is quite impressive, but got the Anarchy out here for Astroboy, so he's got a lot of maneuverability.
Yep, and the Anarchy can be very, very strong against the Nyx, particularly when you're able to force out that Ghost Warp, because then you just have the overall speed advantage to make the best use of that good 30 seconds or so.
So there it is once again. Things have slowed down dramatically after that. So very quick start and up the jump pad. You never want to get caught on a jump pad. And the rockets start flying there. And Astroboy back up the jump pad. Cheeky stuff there with the railgun. Able to get the connection and the frag as well.
Completely catching k1llsen off guard there. No really understanding as he punches him into the face. The double punch doing a lot of damage.
Nice. I don't know if anyone has seen the anime One Punch Man, but I just keep getting reminded of
Whoosh.
One Punch Man. It is amazing. Definitely recommend it. What a brilliant position Astroboy's found himself in. And for me, I love the fact that a lot of these decisions he's making, they show extreme amount of confidence, which is very important when you're playing against a very, very high-level opponent. Must be confident.
Yeah, and let's not forget, I mean, obviously, he's been around for a very, very long time, so it should really not be a surprise that he is playing in an exceptionally calculated and effective manner.
Definitely, and it's... ooh, we get the challenge coming into the heavy room, and a nice pop-up there. k1llsen holding his ground so far, though, with the Doom going to be dropping down. Not sure if he wanted to or not, but he's going to make good of it there. The flick shot, I thought he's going to line it up, but he doesn't. So actually going to be down to the rockets.
He just ran out of ammo, otherwise that might have hit.
What a time to run out of ammunition. Speaking of which, Astroboy only on 3 rails himself. You can see the sound cues being used here by k1llsen, trying to set up a trap around the corner. But Astroboy knows better than that. He's played Blood Run enough to realize the tricks.
Oh no!
The steal comes in, and the punch as well. k1llsen, another frag there. Astroboy down to the last champion. It's Nyx.
And k1llsen is clawing his way back into this map now.
Punching his way back.
Punching his way back.
He's fisting his way back. Everyone's getting fisted. It's going to be a tournament of a great many fists. A Doom guy, very popular in the meta at the moment. Very strong. And the lock-on is effective. I remember when he first came into play, lock-on did not work quite well at all. Now it's been fixed. It's insane. It's so awesome to watch.
Doom is strong.
Very strong indeed. Love the movement options. Nice rails there coming in from k1llsen, and that's going to put Astroboy very, very weak. Getting those time shards. Caught in the nail gun room, has to back away. This is a brilliant spot for k1llsen here. Perhaps looking to try to finish this up, looking for a good option to get in onto the top of his opponent here. Astroboy pulls out the LG, good timing there. Gonna switch out to the rockets. Wow, how does he do it again, Astroboy? Every time I think that he's about to lose a fight, he finds a way to turn it around.
I think k1llsen just ran out of rockets there because the railgun was an extremely unusual choice to take in that situation, and that's what cost him, is that ammo awareness, really. Nice, pushing in slightly over-aggressive.
Astroboy, you can see he's pretty hyped with that one, able to close it down. Really, really crucial there. And again, I just can't really emphasize enough. Astroboy, I feel like in a lot of these fights, k1llsen had set it up well. He had good positioning. k1llsen engaged in the fight, and you set it up in the pre-game, as it were. You know, we had this situation where you're saying, k1llsen, if he takes the fight, and this is very much a dynamic of Quake Champions, it's all about knowing when is the moment to commit and removing the ability for your opponent in that moment to have an escape option. And k1llsen, he was not able to be on point here in map 1.
It was, yeah, Astroboy just generally was hitting more shots than k1llsen, and that's really unusual.
Absolutely, yeah.
Particularly in those Rockets fights, because that was one of the things that k1llsen relied very heavily on in the Italian Open, was taking on Rocket fights and bullying his opponents, and particularly playing around that heavy armor and the upper levels. When Astroboy was on the back foot, just extremely aware of k1llsen's positioning and playing around that. We saw him a number of times stealing out the mega health from underneath k1llsen's feet, just playing tactically more astute.
Absolutely, and it's very interesting. Again, you know, k1llsen favorite for the group is Group B. Other players in the group is Dewey and Base as well. I think Dewey and Base are currently playing.
Dewey's very, very good.
Yeah, and they're playing right now, I think. I think they're still playing. So this group could be a lot more evolved. Could be very, very. In fact, I think it is very open in many respects. You know, Base also incredibly good. Base actually a player that started to come into prominence towards the end of Quake Live. And the thing as well is with the Russian players and the Russian scene, you never quite know what you're going to get with a Russian player. They might actually be incredibly good because that scene in of itself can be a bit insular. Some of the Russian players really like to play outside of the region, and that's much more the case these days. But still, there's a lot of local land. You never quite know exactly what's going on behind the scenes. But looks like we are moving into Ruins of Sarnath. I'm excited for Ruins of Sarnath. Do you think this is going to allow k1llsen to have a better time, generally speaking, or
no? I mean,
no.
Well, the only thing is obviously that Blood Run is the historic map, and they will both have an extensive amount of experience on that. So this does take you out of your traditional Quake comfort zone. Yeah, puts you, and this is where we're going to see who is generally playing the better duel rather than just playing the map in general.
And who wants it more? k1llsen has a family, right? He's got a kids. Has he got kids?
He's got kids.
He needs his money, man. Kids are expensive. Kids hella expensive. He needs the prize money. Yeah. He's got to be surely the most hungry for it.
Just because he's got kids.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's a good. It's valid reasoning.
I mean, you've got a long-term girlfriend. You guys must have had the conversation about kids.
I have a puppy. That's about it.
I've got a puppy. Is that to appease your girlfriend? So we can get a puppy. You know, we can do that. All right. Well, looks like we're about to head into Ruins of Sarnath. k1llsen dropping the first map against Astroboy. k1llsen, one of the favorites for the tournament, perhaps unexpected for many. k1llsen in the past, in previous iterations of Quake as well, Blood Run was always one of his best, very, very best maps. So, Ruins of Sarnath, will it be more kind to him? About to find out. It is the open of Anarchy here for Astroboy, and also for k1llsen.
And as we saw in the previous game, this is where Cypher was able to come out top and show just his pedigree. So will k1llsen be doing the same? Because Astroboy for me has definitely been playing much, much better than k1llsen.
Yeah, he's been really good at the moment. The only thing that I could really say is just that, again, k1llsen was able to set up better positions. So really cool to see Astroboy sort of being able to push k1llsen into uncomfortable spots on Ruins here. But very fast-moving characters here. It's all about trying to catch that Anarchy when he's mid-jump. We saw that almost happen there. And again, his health stack is so low. It's just that one bad rocket. That's all it takes. Yeah. And you are toast.
Yeah, because obviously the stack is so small that first rocket is imperative in any fight you're going to go into. And is often an indication for when you can push in as well.
And speaking about making k1llsen uncomfortable, right now that is the case. k1llsen is on the the extremities of the map. He's trying to find traps here, and he does actually manage to catch some damage here, but Astroboy looking to pursue, although down the jump pad is not smart. He realizes it, does reroute himself, and he's going to keep the chase on here. k1llsen finished off finally with the rail, and Astroboy, that is what we want to see from him. k1llsen though, can he find a way back in? Immediate pressure off the spawn from Astroboy, and he's still on the items as well.
Doing an incredible job. Again, it's just taking these fights where many people in the past have failed to do, and making k1llsen extremely, as you said, uncomfortable.
An uncomfortable place, like the back of a Volkswagen.
Really?
That's a reference to Morat's Kevin Smith movie tonight.
No.
That's an obscure reference I make sometimes, for Kevin Smith fans out there. They appreciate it. I'll have to show you, but you can see k1llsen still in this sort of spot where, again, playing the Nyx here, sort of pushed out of the main areas where he wants to get, position on those big items. Actually able to go for the chase it. Nice connection. Can he get the follow-up? Is looking for it there. The zoom coming out, but Astroboy able to just sneak away for the time being.
Nice read by k1llsen. He's going to catch him on the jump pad. Perfect rocket and a follow-up. Still just not enough.
Oh, no.
Whoa,
we hate to
and a
see it,
third.
don't you? Stuck on the jump pad. We've all been there. We've all been there. And that is a great way for k1llsen to get back in. He's on position as well for this mega health, but it is going to be spawning only in a few seconds, and there is time to get in, and that's what Astroboy is going to do. Trying to take the fight to steal the mega. It was a good play, but k1llsen able to connect the shots under pressure, and that is one of the reasons why he is a tournament-winning player.
It was, as you said, it was the right play because he would have been able to force both the Ghost Walk and steal the item, but just high risk, high reward did not pay off.
Yeah, it's one of those things, the way that I would describe it in Quake Live, it was a very good strategy. If you have a lesser stack, get the timing on the item, and then you have an effective bigger stack. But it's only if you can get on it, and that's sort of what it's based upon. But
the problem in this iteration is that every single frag now is much more valuable.
Yes, yes.
And so those decisions need to be weighed a lot more carefully.
I should probably not play Jewel in this game then, no. To be honest. Weighing decisions carefully. Well, k1llsen, he's got a very good position here. Sitting on the Mega, just trying to see whether or not Astroboy will sort of run into him. And this can be a great strategy sometimes. Some players be a little bit more carefree than others.
Yeah, and it's what has worked in the past. He's tried it. He has Ghost Walked here, aggressive Ghost Walk to catch him off guard, forcing out the Ghost Walk from Astroboy. Sticking around though. This
is very ambitious. Wanted to take the heavy, but
so
as you said,
greedy.
Very greedy, very ambitious. Perhaps he felt as sometimes I feel like I've been in a similar position there. I actually empathize with that. I feel like sometimes you wanted to make a play, and then you feel like I'm stuck in a position now where I have to back away. My opponent's going to have the entire map, perhaps for like the next minute plus. So I have no good options for a very long time, and so you kind of just want to see if you can get very lucky, and that just was not the case.
I think if you're going to do that, you're going to want to try and go for the telefrag rather than just trying to hit a long-range rocket with no health. But that's just me.
Each to their own. Maybe rockets they just suck. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe
they just suck. Anyway, we have k1llsen with that first round, of course. A good change coming off of Budrun. What on earth is that? Just high-fiving on the way down, and that will be the frag for Astroboy, welcoming that one. It's Nyx to be played down for k1llsen as the mega health is collected for Astroboy. And again, he's got a great position. He's got the stack. He's got Anaki's got very high maneuverability. Right now, I think Anaki's going to pose great problems for k1llsen unless he's very smart in how he avoids him. And that's a very nice drive-by rail coming in from Astroboy to knock k1llsen down. And that's going to also allow Astroboy to better read k1llsen's positions, knowing that he's low.
Yeah, but the crucial thing is that he hasn't forced the Ghost Walk. So a situation like that means k1llsen survives.
And interesting, dropping off the Mega to afraid perhaps of a potential telefrag, giving it up. And Astroboy coming back in. Now here is k1llsen, and just... Ooh. I wonder if that was a bit of like missed
I think it was
air
missed.
control. It did look like that, because I felt like he was coming in at a good angle. Could have been a really good fight with rockets, closing the distance on the Nyx. And there was no Ghost Walk. That could have been a frag, but alas, it was not to be. And now it's a long-range battle against k1llsen as the rockets come in. k1llsen looking to close the distance here against the Anarchy. There it is. The inject comes in, and Astroboy goes down. I thought he was a shoo-in for that fight.
You can see k1llsen not favoring his rail. Perhaps lacking a bit of confidence after Blood Run. Normally, I would expect k1llsen obviously to want to take that range fight. Nice rail coming out on the vertical side. Yeah,
the vertical rail is never an easy type of rail shot to connect, but that is going to go a really long way. It's two shots connected on the rail. Third one as well, and that's k1llsen knows that Astroboy's got to be so incredibly low. And now the mind games, because Astroboy is going to... k1llsen knows that Astroboy will not feel confident to challenge the main items, but that's a really smart use of Berserk there. Threatening k1llsen away. k1llsen again on that Nyx. Has to be careful, even with a full health. That's still not very much.
No, I mean that Berserk is scary. And as you say, just using it as a zoning tactic. Very, very smart to bully his way out, actually get out of that room alive. Aggressive Ghost Walk. Gonna catch him off guard. rocket, nice rail.
Wow. That was actually a very good defensive rocket. Like, that's I think 65 damage. That's a pretty decent amount of damage, especially again onto a Nyx. But finding Nyx around the corner and k1llsen just way stronger. Will take some damage here, but you can see that he can replenish himself. Astroboy throwing props out there in the chat to k1llsen, and
it was a nice read. So respect, not BM.
And here it is, the chase comes in, k1llsen reads it well, Astroboy weak and finished. That's the round for k1llsen. A very different story to a troubling blood run.
Yeah, and as you can see, I mean, I spoke to k1llsen just prior to this match, and he was saying it is a bit of a coin flip, anyone can win, and a little bit lacking confidence in the first round, but back on the board, starting with the Anarchy now, so every round is a refresh state.
Absolutely, and I feel like k1llsen is the kind of player as well where he's going to have respect for every opponent insofar as he understands that everybody has the potential to beat him, even though he just won a tournament. Yeah. That's, you know, if you read his interview, that's the mindset that he's coming into these tournaments with, and just defending this upper area above the railgun here at the moment. The drop comes in, they're down. Oh wow, just forced to the inject there. Just completely misread the position. Astroboy with a great opportunity. He's going to capitalize, steals the heavy as well. Adding insult to injury there to k1llsen. He will be able to, you know, freshly spawn without any pressure, but the cost is that Astroboy's picked up everything.
It is, and the biggest problem on this map is trying to get that rocket launcher. A good player can defend it for a very long time, but having that rail, hitting two, wow.
Whoa, okay. I thought Astroboy had just like one health, like the one, I thought he would have like one health left after that rail, but perhaps he did as well, because that was a very unfortunate situation for him. But k1llsen, it does get pushed off of the Mega. Again, that Nyx health, always something that you have to weigh up.
Yep, and I think Astroboy is aware that k1llsen still doesn't have a rocket launch, which is why he felt that he can push in so aggressively and up the stairways there. Nice rail. Can he get a second? I think Ghostwalk should be up. No, 5 seconds remaining.
So it looks like k1llsen should be able to stay alive for the time being. Astroboy, though, has beaten him, bullied him off of the map, and Rocket Jump comes in to get position back on towards Mega. Good timing there, and also knowing that k1llsen is so weak that he won't be able to challenge. And you can see that Astroboy has still a very good read as to the position of k1llsen. He's like, I know that you have not yet crossed. There's only 2 paths that you can really take here.
But the patience coming out from both players is pretty remarkable. And k1llsen this time sneaking away, and he does have the Ghost Walk if he needs to. But unfortunately, the Mega is not available to be picked up. He just needs to get on one of these greens, the small armors, just to make sure he's not raidable. That was the biggest fear.
There it is around the corner, the zoom rail, the 90 damage coming in there from k1llsen. There's the challenge, though, straight in k1llsen's face. Forces the Ghost Walk out. k1llsen cannot take those close range engagements against the Rockets. And Astroboy is going to have to... Right now, it seems as though Astroboy has been struggling to sort of zone k1llsen around. Like, k1llsen seems to be, even when he's on the back foot, very, very able to work around Astroboy. Astroboy's not having enough presence, and he's not able to force k1llsen into these uncomfortable positions we saw him on Blood Run.
Exactly, and this is what I was referring to at the very start of the game when I was saying when k1llsen plays on form, he's the one that picks and chooses when to fight. And it's extremely difficult because he's not contesting any of these items, which means Astroboy, yes, he has a free reign in the map, but if you can't lock down your opponent, it's relatively redundant because k1llsen's the one that's doing all the damage.
Oh, beautiful prediction as well from k1llsen in that sense. I mean, he's in a pretty decent position here with the Mega coming up pretty soon. He's going to set up positioning for Mega now. Let's see his opponent as well. The rail could come in, and Astroboy. It's better than to test k1llsen's rail in this instance. Now it's starting to get a bit warm.
And k1llsen does seem to be warming up, as you say. He's reading Astroboy a lot better, taking up amazing positions, catching him off guard, coming up jump pads and off the back of the items, meaning Astroboy's stack is always being dwindled just after picking it up, which is the perfect time to do your damage.
Yeah, I do feel like k1llsen is indeed playing remarkably well at the moment. Another connection on the rail, and this is one of the things that really is just quintessential. Well, that's the classic k1llsen, isn't it? Just the rails are always the fallback. And in this game as well, well, Pummel comes out. That's not going to help too much.
Crazy Australian.
And that's the Ghost Walk used as well. k1llsen, another big window of opportunity whilst this Ghost Walk is down for Astroboy. One good rail, and Astroboy is essentially a dead man.
But he has a few time shafts to fall back on, meaning it's not long now, just over 10 seconds. But the problem is he does have nothing to his name. Still doesn't have a lightning gun, doesn't have any major items, probably doesn't have any real scope to get on them either.
Surprised k1llsen was not pushing the issue a little bit more, knowing that Ghostwalk was sort of pops very gratuitously. Now it's the Mega up there as well for k1llsen to try to get up to, but he can't. Astroboy beating him out on the positioning, so... Okay, this is a good spot for Astroboy. Finally in the spot, he's got that Mega.
15 seconds though.
Oh, he's going for the chase. Can he get it? k1llsen just running the clock down. The rail comes out, and Astroboy forced into an awful spot due to the time, and k1llsen takes it down. A stark difference from the first map between these two, and that's going to have them at 1-1 in this series.
Felt clean. As we said at the very start of the map, the experience of Astroboy is certainly showing on Blood Run. He played very well, out of control a lot of the time, but also able to pick up the pace. But on that map, k1llsen made it almost impossible for Astroboy to do anything. We saw a number of times trying to make aggressive rocket jumps, jumping into items, but k1llsen very much aware of exactly what Astroboy was intending all of the time and making sure his positioning and ability usage was on point to get out of those situations and catch Astroboy on the back foot after following those engagements.
Absolutely. I mean, it looked really good. A stark improvement, that is for sure, for k1llsen.
It's going upwards.
Yeah,
upwards.
Absolutely. And I feel as though Astroboy, though, he's still a big danger. We're still seeing good fighting abilities from him. We're still seeing good awareness from him. His level is actually very, very strong. So we can see, again, I feel like k1llsen does really respect and understand that he's a very good player. So I don't think he's going to be sort of underestimating him.
Yeah, I mean, just on that, the scoreline was relatively unflattering, but the actual match itself was close. Because k1llsen was on the back foot for a substantial amount of time, but Astroboy, as we said, couldn't lock him down. And the one thing that's particularly impressive for me just about k1llsen's playstyle in general is he does seem to adapt to the opponent he plays against. So I don't really generally see him playing one fixed style as a lot of other players do. He does focus it exactly on the strengths of his opponent, and that's one of the reasons why he's become much more a versatile and effective player in Quake Champions.
That is actually a very, very interesting point, because this is something that in Quake Live especially, it was pretty clear. You could really sort of categorize the skills in this way. Like, again, the classic example for, I think, one of the players that was very strong at just reading others was Faz. You know, Faz was one of those guys. So certain matchups Faz would be really good at, like against Cypher.
Yeah.
Faz would very often have Cypher's number and sort of be a gatekeeper in a tournament for Cypher, because he's just so good at reading his style. But from a mechanical perspective, from sort of the routine-based perspective, that wasn't something that was as strong for him. But he could get away with it. Whereas in this game, I feel like you really do have to have a bit of everything, because there's so much player reading to be done in this game. So much in that sort of like, let's say, there is a specific meta between players that is much more obvious, I think, than with Quake Live, where there's more things that are you take for granted. This is how you play the start of the map. This is how you do this. But whereas with this, because it's champion-based, because there's less items you have to worry about running, there's much more interpretation of player movement and prediction and trying to sort of force them into spots and vice versa. And that is a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah. Well said.
Right, well.
Moving into our final map between these two in the best of 3 of their group stage encounter.
Corrupted keep, and already k1llsen has good positioning here. Look, able to use that LG to zone out Astroboy, keeping himself in center map.
And Astroboy now really should just be protecting this rocket launcher. So we should see him camping around it, playing very safe and quiet, at the very least, to bust out the Ghost Walk from k1llsen.
Yeah, it's not the best position in the world for Astroboy, but at the very least he indeed has that berserk.
He also doesn't have a lightning gun, so should be quite skeptical about engaging in these mid-range encounters, but k1llsen recognizing the opportunity to get on that rocket and has a full arsenal to his name.
And k1llsen's also going to be aware, as you mentioned, that there is no LG for his opponent at the moment, so he's going to be able to understand that his opponent wants to go to that position. That's the position where perhaps he can get some damage as the LG's collected. And here it is, now trapped behind the massive head of the statue, as we see k1llsen trying to press the issue. But he has also to be careful here. Again, Nick's not with an amazing stack, looking to take the engagement here. Delaying just long enough there, k1llsen able to pick up the Mega, fall back onto the Heavy. He can re-engage now. This has worked out perfectly there for the German.
Yep. He had to, exactly, he had a perfect situation because of his positioning in that he could either bully and get himself a frag or buy enough time to take the whole map away from Astroboy. Wow, what a ghost walk just in time, otherwise that rocket would 100% be direct.
k1llsen still holding on to these good positions in the center of the map, just sort of zoning out Astroboy continuously. And the way that it's timed with the items has actually worked out incredibly well for k1llsen. It feels like this is very ideal. He just has to find that spot to get that chip damage and then find the spot to close in.
The chip damage is pivotal because, particularly when the ability's on cooldown, because of the nature of the stack of Doomguy means you cannot just take a straight one-on-one fight, even if you have the whole map to your name, just because of that dramatic stat discrepancy between the two.
Yeah, I mean, what, 170 damage done in rockets in about 5 seconds.
Still alive.
He's back.
Exactly.
He's back in business. Now we're cooking with gas. Got the Berserk ready. Fight over the heavy now as Astroboy really goes for the committed challenge. Just cannot connect the rockets. k1llsen actually, I think, smart maneuvering there, actually going onto the elevated ground, which will make it much more difficult to connect the rockets. Very smart in-fights play there from him. And here goes k1llsen once again, the LG out there. And he's able to force Astroboy back and keep control of the mega health.
It was, the previous frag was definitely the right choice from Astroboy, just the wrong timing, because What?
Okay. I think k1llsen will happily, graciously accept that one. Not sure he expected a frag, but there you go. He's yet to drop a champion, and now back in towards that mega. Uses the Ghost Walk to get through the choke point to really make his opponent uncomfortable here, but it's Astroboy popping his Ghost Walk as well. It comes down to the LG, the Rockets. Astroboy, no business being in that room, forced out once again.
That was really smart by k1llsen, doing double jumps off all random...
Oh, the timing there! Absolutely perfect from Astroboy. And he needed a big move to get back into this round. He needed something huge, and that was it.
Oh,
through the telly, though.
The punches.
The punches. One Punch Man is back. And you can see that he knows.
I don't know what just happened.
He knows what he did. It was disgusting.
It was vile.
That was absolutely disgusting. But you can see here, so this is another element that we've discussed some of the ideas at play. One of the other things that can make a very good player in this game, and like a Noctis would be a good example, is fantastic in-fight play tactically, and understanding how to read your opponent and how to understand how to read the geometry of where you're fighting to maximize the potential of your fight, but also understand how your opponent will move based on the geometry to inform your dodging and fighting as well.
Yeah, I mean, these subtle nuances is definitely what separates some of the elite players just from very, very good players, because as you said, it makes such a monumental difference.
That is the TDM skill set right there. That's the TDM's bag of tricks.
I would put k1llsen into a similar bracket.
Yes, yeah, you're absolutely right. Big k1llsen guy. k1llsen was as well. With that rail, he should be. Of course he was. Perhaps that's how he honed it. Either way, again, we see him in the same position. It's like the rounds really play out the same here. k1llsen just able to really just dominate the center positions around the map. Astroboy always having to work around the sides, getting forced off due to the damage to chip. It's always been good for k1llsen here.
Yeah, k1llsen's position has been on point in, as you say, dominating that mid-level ground. It's the safest position. It also allows you to go aggressive, to work on, take the high ground on both the heavy and the mega, meaning you don't even need to pick it up. You can just deal enough damage to mitigate it.
Oh, the Ghost walking up from Astroboy, and there it is, k1llsen. Again, just finds a way to always win the positional battle and tries to go for the finish, but we get a trade there. And
Astroboy will be happy with that. 100% he'll be happy with that trade.
I mean, as you mentioned, like k1llsen goes of the kill, and when he does that, it's usually going to work out really well for him. Oh, that's really nice there. Astroboy actually gets a few surprise shots onto k1llsen, something that's not going to be too common. Oh, great maneuverability, but somehow, some way, the Berserk comes in, and that is so scary. But Astroboy's got some fists of his own. He's going to be shoving those straight into k1llsen's face. And that's the end of him.
What is going on?
All the fisting.
One Punch Man.
Down to the elbow. And it's now k1llsen. He's got that round lead, but now finally we're seeing Astroboy fighting back. Doomguy versus Anarchy.
Sneaky, sneaky. Good in timing, though. That's the good thing. Okay. Taking up k1llsen's...
Oh, the rockets! Absolutely. Phenomenal stuff. Wow, you can see the relief there. Astroboy, he realizes that those were some sick rockets and that he's not going to hit those every time.
Yeah, I think this play was too greedy from k1llsen. He was weak, he just got the kill. Irrespective, you just can't push him because Astroboy just read him.
Well, I don't think Astroboy expected the fight, and that's always really sad if you have to ghost walk because you didn't expect the fight to come. And now, k1llsen knows he's in an advantage here. Chases him down, uses that maneuverability of Anarchy to get in there. Didn't even have to use an inject. That is not a good start to the round for Astroboy.
No, and the starting shotgun, which has creeped into the game now, is
so good.
Yeah, it's very, very powerful. It's a nice change, actually.
Yeah, it's so strong. Astroboy, again, can't break these choke points most of the time. k1llsen has just been dominating from these positions. Not expecting Astroboy to come back in. And there it is, k1llsen looking to take the fight. Gotta be careful, inject comes out. Astroboy pursuing the fight though.
No, he's got stuck on the wall.
1 HP, and the finish comes in. That's very important. I was worried for a second there that Astroboy wouldn't find a way back into a catch on to k1llsen, but he did manage to make it happen. Gets caught though, the LG almost getting the finish just before the pickup of the Mega. Very close there. k1llsen again, so much damage, in position on heavy in time, and now he's set himself up again to just take control of the map.
Yeah, and the damage is enough to make, as you said, full control of the map, and the aggressive ghost might just be enough. He's got the read.
And the Doom guy pops the Berserk.
I bet his heart is pounding after seeing that.
Yeah.
He bounced the one-punch man into him.
Nice rocket comes in. Mega collected though. That's a nice steal from Astroboy. An important steal that's going to keep him alive and also keep k1llsen in a position where he might not be super confident about asserting himself on center map as he's been doing so commonly.
No, but now he's got the ghost wall back up. He's done a great job of monitoring that and making sure he picks up all of the necessary... Oh dear.
Perfect, good stuff here coming in from the Aussie. k1llsen on the back foot, and that maneuverability here from Anarchy should surely come in handy here on the pursuit, looking for the finish. There it is, shotgun, the boomstick that comes out.
Anarchy versus Doom. Astroboy's Anarchy's been very strong, and what a rocket.
And that is so critical with the Mega. Okay, actually the Mega's a bit far away, but still. That's going to be helpful here for Astroboy. Another good connection of rockets there, but this time from k1llsen. Though both players very weak, having to pop the Berserk defensively. Something that perhaps you don't want to be forced into doing, but k1llsen was. And Astroboy's going to realize that this is a very close bout here between the two now, fighting over the Mega. The rocket is spot on from k1llsen, and that's enough to secure the round. One more. You can see the tension for both players is really running high.
Yeah, I guess both of them being slightly greedy in situations. That time it's Astroboy not paying off, jumping back in. He realized that k1llsen didn't have the lightning gun and wanted to take that mid-range fight, but a spot-on rocket winning him the round. Right,
so the heavy start there for Astroboy, trying to get himself onto that LG. I mean, you made a really good point earlier about collecting all the weapons first. You want to have all the options, generally speaking, before you try to find an engagement. And when your opponent has that LG, it's able to just zone you away and just bully you in a lot of positions. You see that just Astroboy has all the sound cues here, but k1llsen has the reads. Here comes the push onto the Mega, the first respawn. And what on earth? The rocket's just connecting somehow.
One of those situations again, just holding on to that ghost wall for no real reason, not wanting to pop it. Oh, k1llsen now is on one frag away.
This is not a good look here for Astroboy. Now he's just stuck, trapped behind the statue, stuck on the LG spawn. k1llsen with enough stack to keep the challenge going with the inject as well, with all the speed in the world if he wants to use it to try to close down the kill. But he's going to take his time, and that is a very sensible move because he knows he can get the Mega and get back to the heavy in time to have a better fight next time.
Exactly. Playing it smart and patient. Just very, very calm, which is good.
There's a lot of players I feel like that is an experience thing because a lot of players I think would absolutely keep the pressure on, whereas k1llsen realized he didn't have to and that he can up his chances by playing a long game. And I feel like k1llsen was always, for me, a player that had this just indescribable amount of patience as well. Just all this insane confidence that if I have more stack, I will win.
Yeah, and it's that assurance in your own play that really takes you to another level in terms of being a potential winner of a tournament.
Here it is, just trying to set himself up, Astroboy, trying to battle back with the rockets. The Berserk comes out, and the fist will be good. Those knuckle dusters being put to good use as Astroboy now has a decent position to get back into this one, but we can't forget he's on his last champion, and we've got 2 left for k1llsen. It's the Nyx now, the Doom Guy Nyx matchup.
Aggressive Ghost Walk. Just missing out on the heavy armor. Precarious situation as well, but he does enough damage to keep Astroboy from pushing in himself. Nice read by k1llsen.
Yeah, very nice. Rocket didn't do a huge amount of damage, but it did definitely slow down his opponent. k1llsen, though, he's not really in a good position to try to challenge onto that Mega. And this is really where Astroboy can assert himself, and he's going to go in for the commitment onto the kill, and he's going to find it. Mega as a reward. Lovely stuff for him now as he berserks his way to the heavy. He knows that he can't get there quickly enough without it. Wanted to take the gamble. k1llsen onto the LG, and this extra speed has actually put Astroboy in a brilliant position. The damage output is looking pretty good off the machine gun, looking to try to potentially finish things off, but k1llsen juking, k1llsen jiving. And that is going to be him keeping his opponent at arm's length for now.
And Astroboy, after such a terrible start to this round, has really found a way to claw his way back into the game, and the punch is coming out. He's going to get another one.
Oh my
He does.
God. 3 punches in a row. Not quite the one-punch man, and you can see that Astroboy barely believes his eyes. How did that happen? But at the same time, we have to consider the fact that the first 2 deaths from Astroboy, it's perhaps a bit sloppy.
Very. I mean, k1llsen did take the initiative. That final frag was bizarre. I'm shaking my head.
I was looking at you as I was talking. It's like you didn't really feel ready for a throw. It really looks like you're just like, I don't really know how to process this.
Yeah.
And you can see that I think both of the players on the floor probably feeling very similarly. But